process flows. Another type is screen flows. Already told you, process flows. If you want to create a process flow, means you will right click on class, new, process, enter the flow name, and then already I shared the screen, right? Okay, 1 second. Now can you see it now? Okay, I will log off and log in one sec. Okay, then you also again reconnect again. It is showing, right? Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Okay, the different types of flows we are discussing: process flows and screen flows. For creating a process flow, we have to right click on class, new, process, enter the flow name, and then select the create option. If you want to create a screen flow, same thing, but after entering the flow name, we need to select the template. The template will be screen flow, and then click on create option. So this is the difference between the how to create a main flow and the how to create a subflow. And another difference is the number of shapes available in the main flow and the number of shapes available in the screen flows. So main flow contains, or process flow contains, all shapes. So what are the shapes available under the flows? It contains all the shapes. But screen flow contains limited shapes. So this is one difference. And in the process flow, while adding the flow action name, we have seen flow action name is added under assignment shape connector properties. In the assignment shape, what are the connector attached to that? In that connector properties, we will call the flow action name. But in case of screen flow, that flow action name is available in the assignment shape properties, directly in the assignment shape properties. In the assignment shape properties itself, we will have the flow action name. And another difference is the routing option. In process flow, routing option is available in assignment properties. And in the subflow, this option is available under start shape properties. The reason will be, normally routing and all, it is not task of the developer. Business analyst will do that thing. And why here in the main flow it is there in the assignment properties means, see, if every individual task can be assigned to different. So assignment is also called as a task in real time. We can also call it as a one task. Assignment is one task, so which will be assigned to some developer, so who is designing the application. So here an application can contain some hundreds of tasks there will be. So similarly we'll have hundreds of assignment shapes will be there. So in that, each assignment can be allotted to or given to different developers. So for example, assignment 1 is there, like multiple assignments if you are having means, so each assignment can be assigned to different operators means developers. So this one can be assigned to another one, this one can be assigned to another, like this. So each task can be assigned to individual operators, so that can be done in the main flow. So I told you, right, assignment in the business analyst view they will use for assigning the work for developers, and the developer wise they will use the same assignment for this adding the flow action name. So this one I am telling in the business analyst wise, so they will use this thing for assigning the tasks for developers, so they can, each task can be assigned to different operators. And so this subflows again, when a task is given for a developer, so from that assignment only he will design some subflows also. So from that same assignment he used to define some subflows. So at that time the total, this subflow cannot be shared with other developers. So whoever the developer is developing this particular task, he only will develop the subflow also. In the subflow, for example, if you have more than one assignment also, what happens, so all the tasks will be completed by, so only that particular developer has to do all these things. So no other developer will share this subflow. So means that if they design a subflow, it will be done only by a single developer, it's not by multiple developers. Because so normally from the main flow, under that sub level will create a subflows, then only single developer will design the total subflow here. Okay, it cannot be shared with other developers. So even if you have 3 assignments or 5 assignments also, so all that has to be done by the single operator. And here we have that option in the routing option in the start shape properties. If in any case the developer is unable to perform the task means, he can route using the start shape properties. So go to start shape properties, there we can find the routing option. He can select the operator ID, so whether it is a particular developer or work basket, so I will tell you in the coming sessions about this. So he can go to the routing option, and from there he can assign the task or route the task to different operators. Okay, so like this main flow, in the assignment properties we have the routing option, and in the subflows in the start shape properties we have the routing option. And some other difference, so creating a work object option. Yesterday I told you, see, when we design a main flow or process flow, in the flow page only, so we will go to the process tab, there is a process tab, there we will select an option called creates a new work object. So it is compulsory for every main flow, so that option is available in the main flows. But in the subflow we cannot create a new work object, because so it belongs to the existing, means we will add this subflow to a existing work object. We cannot, so there is no need to create a new work object for every subflow, because this subflow we will be adding to the existing work object. For that reason we will not have the option called creates a new work object in the subflows. Okay, only this option is available in the main flows. Okay, these are some of the differences between these things, so main flows and the subflows. I will show it in practical. See, I will show you the diagrams and properties of this. First of all, I am creating a main flow. Here there is no need to give any template, directly use the create option. Yeah, 1 second. I will back in a minute. Okay, save this flow and open from the process category. Now also I will create a subflow. But for this we need to select the template option. If we don't select the template, it becomes main flow. Okay, open from here. See the differences now. Click on checkout. See, in the main flow these are all the shapes available. In the subflow only we will have limited shapes, so this is one difference. And in the process tab, main flow, if you go to the process tab, we have to select the option called creates a new work object option. So that option is disabled in the subflow, means it will be there but it will be disabled. The creates a new work object option, so in previous versions actually this will not be there, but from 6.2 they have given, but it will be disabled here. And another difference is the flow action names. In the main flow, in the connector properties, we will give the flow action name, assignment connector properties. In case of subflows, directly in the assignment properties, we will add the flow action name. The connector, so here the connector will be blank, nothing to set. Another difference is routing. In the subflow, we don't have the routing option here. That option is available in the start shape properties. So these are all the differences. And one more difference is navigation wise. That one I will show when I create a flow. I will show that one. So navigation wise means in a main flow or process flow, the navigation, so there will not be no front and back navigation will not be there. No front and back navigation means we cannot move. Once we submit the form, again we cannot go back to the previous forms. But in a subflow, it contains front and back navigation. And also we can add our own type, like if you want to add a tab, if you want to add a left side navigation, so all those things we can do in the subflows. Okay, all those things I will show in practical. So these are the differences. And in the subflow also the types are available. Some types are available. No, there will be no types under the main flow, but subflow means here Screenflow contains some types. So under the screen flow we have some types, like so many types will be there, but we will not use all of them. Mainly I will tell you some 2 or 3. The first one is perform screen flow. That one is a default one. By default it will be perform screen flow. Another type is tabbed screen flow, tabbed screen flow, tree navigation screen flow, so these are the main types. So later according to the requirement we can select other types. So first of all I will show these things. And how to select the screen flow, where we can select these types means under the start shape properties. Under the start shape properties we'll have a option called harness option. Actually this harness is different and the harness user interface is different, so but the purpose is same only. But here we will have some predefined what we can say predefined templates will be there, but in the user interface we will define our own template. Okay, so the main purpose harness is it is used to change the appearance of the object, means appearance of the page. The purpose of the harness is to change the appearance of the page, or we can also call as work object, appearance of the work object. In the flows, in the user interface the purpose is somewhat different. In the user interface harness can be used to we can say create a new work object. In the user interface the purpose of the harness is it is used to create a new work object, but in the flows its purpose is modify the appearance of the work object, or we can say change the appearance of the work object. So anything is same only, modify or change the appearance of the work object. Okay, so I will tell you in detail later in the user interface thing, so we did not cover this thing, harness in user interface. So just this is a default one, we will not do anything, so just we have to select from the options will be there, like performs tabbed means it will display your output in the form of tabs. If you are entering more than one page you can check that difference. If you are adding more than 2 or 3 pages, the output will display in the form of tabbed format. And tree navigation means the like a left side navigation, it will be in the tree format, so tree, nodes, branches, like this. So in the tree navigation means it will show the output of pages in a tree format. Okay, this is, so we can select this thing in the start shape properties of the screen flow. And by default perform screen flow is the default type. If you are not selecting anything, by default it will be perform screen flow, it is a standard one. See here you can see the types. So there is a harness. In this in the drop down you can find the types called tabbed and tree navigation. Okay, I will show in practical. I will create some user interface first of all, because I require more sections and flag actions. If you want to delete any rule, just right click on that and click on delete option, and it will ask you to enter some description why you are deleting. Okay. So I'm creating some more sections and flag actions because I need to use now. I want to show some example. So how the subflow, how we will design a subflow, and how we can add in the main flow. create a fly action for this. We have only one fly action here. Just drag that one, drag and drop. I will add one more section. Add these properties and now go to I'm designing one subflow. Okay, before that I will show the same thing in the main flow. So if I add more than one assignment in the main flow, the flow action names. Then already we have given the process. Okay, save the flow. See here, when I execute the main flow, after the first form it will go to the next form. Again we cannot get back to here, so though no navigation will be there in the main flow. Execute this thing and check. If I click on submit option, and one more thing, if we have the common fields also, see here, one thing I want to show again. I will give some inputs. So after submitting this, it will go to the second form, and see if we have the common fields in alternate forms. So in the first form and the second form we are having some common fields like city, date of birth and country. What it is doing is it is copying the same input in the second form also, because the reason is here I told you by default if we submit any data, all the data will be temporarily saving in the PY work page. In any case, if you have a common fields in the next form, so what happens, so the same value it will copy in the second form also. So in order to avoid that, what we have to do in such case, if you have a common properties, means we have to empty the values from the PY work page. So only for that common fields, not for all the values. So not for all the properties, so only properties which you have a common. So for those properties we need to empty the values from the PY work page. So that thing we can do using the activities. So that in the coming sessions I will tell you that thing. So using the activities option we can do that thing. So then what happens, after submitting the form, again you will get a fresh, so without no values, it will, where we can enter a new value again. So that thing we can do in the coming sessions. Right now just enter some data. Now see, only submit button you will get, we cannot go back to the previous buttons here. So like this. So this is how the design occurs in the main flow, but same thing if we did in the sub flow. The assignment here in the subflows, directly in the assignment properties we will add the flow action names. I can show the same thing in the subflow also, but in real time we have to add these things in the main flow. But here first of all I am showing the execution. When I execute this thing, normally we will not directly execute, we cannot directly execute here. In real time we have to include that in the main flows. I will show that thing how to add in the main flow. Click on delete option, click on, so this is one default one it will get. Just click on create button. So in the subflows we will get a give some inputs. Click on next button here. Okay, it is a number, it will not take the text input. If you want, we can also go back to the previous forms here by clicking on back button. In the main flow we will not have this option. Okay, this is a standard one, and if you want to change the type of this flow, means the appearance of this flow, if you want to change the appearance of this flow, then go to the start shape properties. In the harness, the default one is perform Screenflow. If you want to change this, go to start shape properties and select the type as tabbed Screenflow. Then check the output, save this one. See here the output now, it will look different apart from the previous one. So the output will get in the form of tabbed format. So you can check okay, so mandatory fields are there, so just to give them. So like this we can remove the buttons and we can directly navigate using the tabs. Directly we can navigate using the tabs here. So like this, like tree also will be there, I will show later. And then if you want to call this subflow in the main flow means, so try that one. So in create one subprocess. So the shape used for calling this subflow in the main flow is subprocess shape. Okay, now I am using a subprocess. Not adding any other assignments right now. Go to subprocess shape properties. See here, filter flow rule by default it is showing process flow here. By default it is showing process flow. If we select process flow means it will show only the names of the main flow names, means process flow names. If you want to select a subflow, actually I need to call this subflow in the subprocess properties. For that I need to select the filter here. Filter flow rule by, we have to select the option as Screenflow. Then only it will display the names of the Screenflows. Now you can select the name. So subflow 1. Click on OK. Same thing you will get. So when we run this subflow, what is the output you got? Same output you will get, but we are calling in that, in the subflow we are calling in the main flow. Because we cannot directly call the subflows, because compulsory we need to add the subflows in the main flow. So the same output you will get, but we are executing from the main flow, that one. Like this we can call the subflows in the main flow. And also same process, if you want to call the subflow, we can also call, I told you 3 types are there. Subflows we can call in subflow, and subflows we can call in main flow, and also main flows also we can call in main flows. So I showed you right now is subflows calling in the main flow. And if you want to call the subflow in the subflow, just add the sub process, here there is no need to select the filter, because already it is a subflow. It will directly give the names of the subflow. No need to select the, because main flows we cannot call in the subflow, right? So that is the reason main flow names will not be there here. Only the names, subflow names only will be there. But in the main flow, if you add the same sub process in the main flow, means there it will give the filter. In the subflow, if you give the sub process, here we will not get the filter, because we can only call the subflows in another subflow. For that reason you will get only the subflow names. So your subflow name is the same output you will get. Because in this properties you need to select the tabbed also. So like this, so flows from one flow we can call another flow using the sub process properties. Okay, so another thing is, so again, so this is about introduction, just introduction about the flows. Again in the coming sessions we will be doing all these things. Again we'll come back to flows and see. And in the next session I will tell you the activities introduction. So that is the main thing here in Pega. So it is very important, most important thing in Pega. Okay, so from here the real work starts. So when activities is completed, so we can do anything so using the activities. Okay, so maybe next class will be on again Monday morning. No class tomorrow on Sunday. So next class will be on Monday morning, the same time. Okay, you can practice these things if you already installed means. So till now whatever you have covered, so once again you can review all those things in this weekend. So next class I will take on Monday morning. Okay, so any doubts you can drop me a mail or you can